Learn English through story. A fun way to improve your skills. Learning English can be fun and exciting when you use stories. Stories are not just for children. They are a great way for people of all ages to learn a new language. Here are some methods and advantages of learning English through stories. Methods. Reading simple stories. Start with short and simple stories. Children's books or graded readers are perfect for this. These books use easy language and are designed for beginners. They have simple words and sentences that make it easier for you to understand. As you read, you will learn new words and how they are used in sentences. Listening to audiobooks. Audiobooks are a great way to improve your listening skills. You can listen to the story while reading the text. This helps you understand pronunciation and intonation. Audiobooks are available for many levels, so you can choose one that matches your English skills. Listening to stories read by native speakers also helps you learn the correct way to say words. Watching story videos. Many websites and YouTube channels offer animated stories. These videos are entertaining and help you learn English visually and audibly. Watching stories with pictures and sound can help you understand the story better and remember new words and phrases. Storytelling clubs. Join a local or online storytelling club. Sharing stories with others can improve your speaking and listening skills. In these clubs, you can listen to other people's stories and tell your own. This practice helps you become more comfortable speaking English and improves your ability to understand others. Advantages. Improves vocabulary. Stories introduce you to new words and phrases in context. This makes it easier to remember and use them. When you see a new word in a story, you can understand its meaning from the other words around it. This helps you learn vocabulary naturally. Enhances listening skills. Listening to stories helps you understand different accents and speeds of speaking. This improves your overall listening ability. You will get used to the way English sounds and become better at understanding spoken English. Boosts imagination. Stories are interesting and stimulate your imagination. This makes learning more enjoyable and keeps you motivated. When you enjoy what you are reading or listening to, you are more likely to continue learning. Cultural insights. Stories often reflect the culture of the language. By reading and listening to stories, you learn about different customs and traditions. This helps you understand the culture of English-speaking countries and makes learning more interesting. Learning English through stories is a wonderful way to improve your language skills. It's fun, engaging, and effective. So, pick up a storybook or listen to an audiobook today and start your journey to better English. Learn English through story. Engaging and effective methods. Learning English through stories is not only fun, but also a very effective way to improve your language skills. Here are some more methods and advantages of this learning approach. Methods. Interactive story apps. There are many apps that make learning English through stories interactive. These apps often include quizzes and games that make learning fun. You can read or listen to stories and then answer questions or play games related to the story. This helps reinforce what you have learned. Retelling stories. After reading or listening to a story, try to retell it in your own words. This practice improves your speaking skills and helps you remember the story better. You can do this alone, with a friend, or in a group. Retelling a story helps you practice using new vocabulary and grammar. Story summaries. Write summaries of the stories you read. This helps you practice writing and ensures you understand the main points. Writing a summary requires you to think about what is important in the story and express it clearly. This is a good way to improve your writing skills. Role-playing. Act out parts of the story with friends or classmates. This method helps improve your speaking and listening skills in a fun and engaging way. Role-playing allows you to practice speaking in different situations and using different vocabulary. Advantages: builds confidence. Understanding and retelling stories gives you confidence in your English abilities. As you improve, you will feel more comfortable using English in different situations. Confidence is important for learning a new language because it helps you take risks and try new things. Makes learning fun. Stories are enjoyable and keep you interested. When learning is fun, you are more likely to stick with it and make progress. Enjoying the learning process helps you stay motivated and committed to improving your English. Improves comprehension. Stories help you understand how sentences are structured and how words are used in context. This improves your overall comprehension of the language. Reading and listening to stories helps you see how English works in real situations. Develops critical thinking. Analyzing stories and discussing them with others can develop your critical thinking skills. You learn to think about the language and its meaning more deeply. Discussing stories helps you understand different perspectives and think about why things happen in a story. By incorporating these methods into your study routine, you can make learning English more enjoyable and effective. Stories are a powerful tool that can help you achieve your language goals. Learn English through story. Innovative techniques for better learning. Learning English through stories can be both exciting and highly beneficial. Here are some innovative methods and advantages to help you make the most of this approach. Methods. Using story maps. Create a map of the story's events. This visual tool helps you understand the plot and remember the sequence of events. You can draw a map on paper or use an app. Story maps help you see the structure of the story and how the events are connected. Listening to podcasts. Many podcasts offer storytelling sessions in simple English. Listening to these podcasts can improve your comprehension and listening skills. You can listen to them while doing other activities, like walking or cooking. Podcasts are a convenient way to practice English. Joining online forums. Participate in online forums where people discuss stories. Sharing your thoughts and reading others' opinions helps improve your writing and reading skills. Online forums give you the chance to practice writing in English and learn from others. Creating your own stories. Write your own short stories in English. This practice boosts your creativity and improves your writing skills. Writing your own stories helps you practice using new vocabulary and grammar in a fun way. You can share your stories with friends or online communities. Advantages. Encourages repetition. Listening to or reading the same story multiple times helps reinforce vocabulary and grammar structures. Repetition is key to language learning. The more you see and hear new words and sentences, the better you will remember them. Improves pronunciation. Hearing stories read aloud, especially by native speakers, helps you learn proper pronunciation and rhythm. Listening to how words are pronounced and practicing saying them yourself helps you speak more clearly. Enhances memory. Stories are easier to remember than isolated words and phrases. They help you retain information better. When you remember the story, you also remember the new words and grammar you learned. Promotes lifelong learning. Developing a love for stories and reading encourages continuous learning. You will always find new stories to enjoy and learn from. Lifelong learning is important because it keeps your mind active and helps you keep improving your skills. Using these innovative techniques can make learning English through stories more effective and enjoyable. Whether you are reading, listening, or writing, Stories provide a rich and engaging way to improve your language skills. So, dive into a story today and discover the joy of learning English through storytelling. Learn English through story. There once was a girl named Maria who lived in a small town called Sunnyville. Maria loved to read, but she had a big dream. She wanted to learn English. She knew that learning English would help her talk to people from other countries and maybe even travel the world one day. But Maria didn't know where to start. English seemed difficult, with so many words and rules. One day, Maria's teacher, Miss Lily, gave her a piece of advice that changed everything. "Maria," Miss Lily said, "if you want to learn English, start with something you love. Since you love stories, why not learn English through stories?" Maria thought this was a great idea. She decided to start reading simple English stories. Miss Lily gave her a book called The Little Adventures of Sam and Emma. The book was written for beginners, with short sentences and easy words. The first story in the book was about two friends, Sam and Emma, who went on a treasure hunt. Maria took the book home and began to read. At first, it was a bit hard. There were many new words Maria didn't understand, but she didn't give up. She read slowly, one sentence at a time. When she found a word she didn't know, she looked it up in a dictionary or asked her teacher the next day. As Maria read, she noticed that some words appeared again and again. Words like friend, find, and happy started to feel familiar. She didn't need to look them up anymore. She was beginning to learn. Maria read the story of Sam and Emma every day. She read it before school, after dinner, and sometimes even before bed. Each time she read, she understood a little more. Soon she could tell the whole story in her own words. She felt proud of herself. She was learning English. After finishing the first story, Maria moved on to the next one in the book. This story was about Sam and Emma building a treehouse. Maria loved how the story showed them working together, using tools, and having fun. Just like before, she took her time, reading slowly and learning new words. One day, Miss Lily introduced Maria to something new, listening to stories in English. She gave Maria an audiobook of The Little Adventures of Sam and Emma. Now, Maria could listen to the stories as she read along. This helped her learn how to pronounce the words correctly. She could hear how the characters talked, and she tried to imitate them. Listening to the story while reading it made a big difference. Maria's English improved faster. She started to understand the words better and could speak more confidently. She even started to talk to her friends in English, using the phrases she learned from the stories. Maria's favorite time of the week was when she visited the local library. The library had a special section for English learners, with many books and audiobooks just like the ones she loved. The librarian, Mrs. Watson, always greeted Maria with a smile. She recommended new stories for Maria to read. One day, Mrs. Watson gave Maria a book called The Magical Forest. It was a little more difficult than the books Maria had read before, but she was excited to try. The story was about a young girl named Lucy, who discovered a magical forest filled with talking animals and hidden treasures. Maria took the book home and started reading. This time, she used a new method. She read the story out loud. Reading out loud helped her practice speaking English and made the words stick in her mind. She also listened to the audiobook while reading, which helped her understand the story better. As she read, Maria imagined herself as Lucy, exploring the magical forest and meeting all the wonderful creatures. The story was full of exciting adventures and new words. Sometimes Maria struggled with difficult sentences, but she didn't give up. She kept reading and learning. one page at a time. After finishing The Magical Forest, Maria felt more confident than ever. She had learned many new words and phrases. She could now read and understand English stories much better than before. She realized that learning English through stories was not only fun, but also very effective. Maria wanted to share her love of learning English through stories with others. She decided to start a small book club at her school. She invited her friends to join, and every week they met to read and discuss a new English story. They took turns reading out loud and helped each other with difficult words. Maria was happy to see her friends enjoying the stories and improving their English too. One day, Miss Lily told the class about an English storytelling competition. Maria was excited and a little nervous, but she decided to participate. She chose to tell the story of The Magical Forest. She practiced every day, reading the story out loud and making sure she knew all the words. On the day of the competition, Maria stood in front of the audience, took a deep breath, and began to tell the story. She spoke clearly and confidently, just like she had practiced. The audience listened closely, and when Maria finished, they clapped loudly. Maria was proud of herself. She had come so far since the day she started learning English through stories. Maria didn't win the competition, but that didn't matter to her. What mattered was how much she had learned and how much she enjoyed the journey. She knew that she would keep reading, listening, and telling stories in English. She would keep learning and growing. As time went on, Maria's English continued to improve. She could read more challenging books and understand English movies and songs. She even started writing her own stories in English. She loved how stories had helped her learn and wanted to create her own stories to help others. Maria's journey of learning English through stories taught her that language learning doesn't have to be boring or difficult. It can be an exciting adventure, just like the stories she read. By immersing herself in the world of stories, Maria not only learned English, but also discovered a love for storytelling. Maria's story reminds us all that with patience, practice, and a love for learning, anything is possible. So, if you want to learn English, just like Maria, start with a story. Find a book you love, read it slowly, listen to it, and enjoy the journey. You'll be surprised at how much you can learn through the magic of stories. Learn English through story. In a small town called Green Hill, there was a boy named Tom. Tom wanted to learn English, but he found it hard. He tried reading books and doing exercises, but he didn't enjoy it. One day, Tom's grandfather, Mr. Smith, told him about a new and easy way to learn English. "Tom," Mr. Smith said, "I have a special method that helped me learn English when I was your age. It's called the picture and word method. It's simple and fun. Would you like to try it?" Tom was curious. "What is the picture and word method, Grandpa?" he asked. Mr. Smith smiled and explained. The picture and word method is easy. First, you find pictures of things you see every day, like a cat, a tree, or a book. Then, you write the English word for each picture. For example, if you see a picture of a cat, you write the word cat next to it. You can even draw your own pictures if you like. Tom thought this sounded fun. "What do I do next?" he asked. "After you have the pictures and words," Mr. Smith continued, "you make flashcards. On one side of the card, put the picture, and on the other side, write the word. You can use these flashcards to practice. Look at the picture and try to remember the English word. If you can't remember, just flip the card and check." Tom liked this idea. He spent the afternoon finding pictures in magazines and drawing his own. He made flashcards for words like dog, sun, car, and apple. He enjoyed drawing and coloring the pictures. When he finished, he started practicing with the flashcards. Each day, Tom spent a few minutes with his flashcards. He looked at the pictures and tried to remember the words. After a week, he knew all the words without looking at the back of the cards. He was surprised at how quickly he learned. "Grandpa, this method really works," Tom said excitedly. "I'm learning new words every day." Mr. Smith was happy to see Tom enjoying the learning process. "There's more you can do, Tom," he said. "You can start making sentences with the words you know. For example, if you have a flashcard with a picture of a cat, you can say, 'The cat is black,' or 'I have a cat.' This way, you practice using the words in real sentences." Tom started making simple sentences with his flashcards. He wrote them in a notebook and practiced speaking them out loud. He said things like, "The apple is red," "I see a tree," and "The dog is big." He was learning to speak English, one sentence at a time. As the days passed, Tom's English improved. He knew many new words, and he could make simple sentences. He started feeling more confident. He even began to use English words when talking to his friends at school. Tom's teacher, Miss Rose, noticed his progress. She asked him how he was learning so quickly. Tom explained the picture and word method to her. Miss Rose was impressed. She decided to teach the method to the whole class. Soon, all the students in Tom's class were using the picture and word method. They made flashcards, practiced sentences, and shared their progress with each other. Learning English became fun for everyone. Tom was proud of himself. He realized that learning English didn't have to be hard or boring. With the right method, it could be easy and enjoyable. He continued to use the picture and word method, learning more words and making longer sentences. In the end, Tom's love for learning grew. He understood that with simple steps, like using pictures and words, anyone could learn a new language. Tom knew he had found a magical way to learn English, and he was excited to continue his journey. So, if you want to learn English easily, remember Tom's story. Start with pictures and words, make flashcards, and practice a little every day. You'll be surprised at how much you can learn, just like Tom did in Green Hill. Following a bank robber. In a quiet town called Riverwood, there was a small bank on Main Street. The people of Riverwood trusted this bank. They kept their money there and went to the bank for their daily needs. Mr. Davis was the bank manager. He was a kind man, always smiling and helping the customers. One sunny morning, something unusual happened in Riverwood. A man dressed in black entered the bank. He wore a big hat and sunglasses, so no one could see his face. He walked up to the counter where Mrs. Clark, the teller, was working. "Put all the money in this bag," the man said in a deep voice. He handed Mrs. Clark a big black bag. Mrs. Clark was scared. She looked around, but no one could help her. The man showed her a note. The note said, "If you don't give me the money, I will hurt you." Mrs. Clark had no choice. She started to put the money in the bag. After the bag was full of money, the man grabbed it and ran out of the bank. He jumped into a car parked outside and drove away quickly. The people in the bank were shocked. Mr. Davis immediately called the police. The police arrived at the bank in minutes. Officer Jenkins, the chief of police, spoke to the witnesses. He asked Mrs. Clark to describe the robber. "He was tall and wore all black," she said, "but I couldn't see his face." Officer Jenkins looked at the security cameras in the bank. The cameras showed the man's car as he drove away. It was an old blue car with a dent on the side. Officer Jenkins made a note of this. "We need to find this car," he said to his team. Meanwhile, in another part of town, a young boy named Tim was riding his bike. Tim loved to explore new places. He rode his bike every day after school. That day, Tim decided to ride through the old factory area. No one went there anymore because the factory had closed many years ago. As Tim was riding, he saw a blue car parked behind one of the old buildings. The car looked strange. It was old and had a dent on the side. Tim remembered hearing about a robbery on the news. He thought this car might be the robber's car. Tim quickly rode his bike to the police station. He told Officer Jenkins what he saw. "I saw a blue car with a dent parked behind the old factory," Tim said. Officer Jenkins knew this could be a big clue. "Let's go check it out," Officer Jenkins said to his team. They all got into their police cars and followed Tim to the old factory. When they arrived, they saw the blue car. Officer Jenkins quietly told his team to search the area. The police split up and searched the old factory. It was a big place, full of empty rooms and dusty old machines. After a few minutes, one of the officers called out, "I found him!" The robber was hiding in a small room in the back of the factory. He was counting the money he had stolen. When he saw the police, he tried to run, but there was nowhere to go. The police quickly caught him and put handcuffs on him. "Good job, Tim," Officer Jenkins said. "You helped us catch the bank robber." Tim smiled. He was happy he could help. The police took the robber to jail. They returned the stolen money to the bank. The people of Riverwood were very thankful to Tim and the police. The town was safe again. Tim became a hero in Riverwood. The mayor even gave him a special medal for his bravery. Everyone in town talked about how Tim had helped catch the robber. From that day on, Tim kept exploring. But he was also more careful. He knew that sometimes, even in a quiet town like Riverwood, exciting and dangerous things could happen. And if they did, Tim was ready to help again. The story of the bank robbery in Riverwood was told for many years. It became a favorite story in the town, especially for children. And Tim, the young boy with a brave heart, always remembered that day as the day he became a hero. Learn English through story. Once, in a small village, there was a young woman named Anna. Anna always wanted to learn English. She knew it would help her get a better job and talk to people from other countries. But Anna did not know how to start. One day, she heard about a special way to learn English, through stories. Anna was excited. She loved stories. She thought this would be a fun way to learn. So she went to the library in her village. The librarian, Mr. Brown, was very kind. He showed Anna a section with simple English books. Anna picked a book with colorful pictures. The book was called The Adventures of Tom and Lily. Anna took the book home. She sat in her favorite chair and started to read. The story was about two children, Tom and Lily, who found a magic tree in the forest. The tree could talk and tell them amazing stories. Tom and Lily visited the tree every day after school. The tree told them about faraway places, brave heroes, and magical creatures. As Anna read, she found many new words. She did not understand all of them, but she kept reading. She wrote down the new words in a notebook. Anna read the book every day. She read slowly and tried to understand each sentence. Sometimes, she used a dictionary to look up the new words. After a week, Anna finished the book. She felt very proud. She learned many new words and phrases. She could understand the story better than when she started. Anna decided to read another book. She went back to the library and picked a new one. This book was called The Secret Garden. Anna followed the same routine. She read a little bit every day. She wrote down new words and tried to understand them. She also started to listen to English audiobooks. She found a story she liked and listened to it while reading the book. This helped her learn how to pronounce the words correctly. One day, Mr. Brown told Anna about an English storytelling club. The club met every Saturday at the library. People took turns telling stories in English. Anna was nervous but decided to join. She thought it would be a good way to practice speaking English. At the first meeting, Anna listened to others tell their stories. Some were very good, and some were just beginners like her. When it was Anna's turn, she felt scared, but she remembered how much she loved the stories she read. She decided to tell the story of Tom and Lily and the magic tree. Anna started slowly. She made some mistakes, but no one laughed. Everyone listened carefully. As she continued, she felt more confident. She finished her story, and everyone clapped. Mr. Brown told her she did a great job. Anna was very happy. She realized that telling stories helped her remember the words and speak more easily. Anna continued to go to the storytelling club. Each week, she told a new story. She also made new friends who helped her practice English. They gave her tips and encouraged her. Anna's English improved a lot. She could read faster and understand more. She could speak with more confidence. One day, Anna got a job interview at a big company in the city. The interview was in English. Anna was nervous, but she remembered all the stories she read and told. She went to the interview and did her best. She told the interviewer about her favorite English stories and how they helped her learn. The interviewer was impressed. A few days later, Anna got a call. She got the job. Anna was so happy. She knew that learning English through stories helped her achieve her dream. She continued to read and tell stories, always learning new things. Anna's story shows that learning English can be fun and effective. By reading and telling stories, you can improve your language skills in an enjoyable way. So, pick up a book, listen to an audiobook, or join a storytelling club. You will see how much you can learn through the magic of stories. Learn English through story. Anna's new job was in the city, working at a big international company. She was nervous about moving to the city and starting her new job, but she was also excited. She knew that speaking English well would help her succeed. On her first day at work, Anna met her new colleagues. They were from different countries and spoke many languages, but English was the common language. Anna introduced herself and felt proud when she could speak clearly and confidently. Her colleagues were friendly and welcomed her warmly. One of Anna's tasks was to communicate with clients from different countries. She had to write emails and make phone calls in English. At first, she felt nervous, but she remembered how much she had learned through stories. She took her time, using simple words and sentences, just like in the books she read. She found that her clients appreciated her clear communication. In the evenings after work, Anna continued her English learning journey. She found a cozy bookstore near her apartment that had a great selection of English books. The owner, Ms. Smith, was a kind woman who loved to recommend books to her customers. She suggested Anna try a series of books that were written for English learners. These books had simple language but exciting stories. Anna started with a book called The Mystery of the Lost Treasure. It was about two friends, Emma and Jack, who discovered a map leading to hidden treasure. The story was full of adventure and suspense. Anna enjoyed it so much that she finished it in just a few days. She then returned to the bookstore for more books from the series. As Anna's reading skills improved, she began to explore more challenging books. She read classic English novels like Alice's Adventures in Wonderland and The Secret Garden. She also discovered modern stories and enjoyed reading them on weekends. Each book introduced her to new vocabulary and different ways of expressing ideas. Anna's listening skills also got better. She found podcasts and YouTube channels where people read stories aloud. She listened to them while cooking, cleaning, or riding the bus to work. Listening to stories helped her understand different accents and speeds of speaking. She also enjoyed listening to stories before bed, which helped her relax and sleep better. Anna's favorite part of learning English was still the storytelling club. She continued to attend the meetings every Saturday. The club members became her friends, and they shared their stories and experiences. Sometimes they would choose a theme for the week, like adventure or friendship, and everyone would tell a story related to that theme. This made the meetings more fun and interesting. One day, the club decided to organize a storytelling competition. Each member would tell a story, and a panel of judges would choose the best one. Anna was excited, but also nervous. She decided to tell the story of The Mystery of the Lost Treasure, one of her favorite books. Anna practiced her story many times. She stood in front of her mirror and told the story, making sure to use clear and expressive language. On the day of the competition, she was ready. She stood in front of the audience and began her story. She described Emma and Jack's adventure with excitement and enthusiasm. The audience listened intently, and when she finished, they applauded loudly. Anna won second place in the competition. She was very happy and proud of herself. Winning the prize gave her even more confidence in her English skills. She thanked her friends at the club for their support and encouragement. As time went on, Anna's English skills continued to improve. She got promoted at her job and became a team leader. She helped her team communicate better with international clients and solve problems efficiently. Her boss noticed her hard work and dedication and praised her. Anna also started to help others learn English. She volunteered at a local community center, where she taught English to children and adults. She used the same methods that helped her learn: reading stories, listening to audiobooks, and telling stories. Her students enjoyed the classes and made good progress. Anna's journey showed her that learning a language through stories is a wonderful and effective way. It made learning fun and kept her motivated. She was grateful for all the books, audiobooks, and storytelling sessions that helped her become fluent in English. Anna's story continues to inspire others. She encourages everyone who wants to learn English to pick up a storybook and start reading. She knows that through stories, you can learn not only a language, but also about different cultures and ideas. And most importantly, you can enjoy the journey of learning. So, if you want to learn English, remember Anna's story. Find a good book, listen to an audiobook, or join a storytelling club. You will see how much you can improve and have fun along the way. The Adventure of Timmy the Turtle. Timmy the Turtle lived in a small pond. He had a green shell and loved to explore. Every day, he would swim around, looking for new things. One sunny morning, Timmy saw something shiny in the water. He swam closer and found a silver key. "What is this?" Timmy wondered. He decided to find out where the key belonged. Timmy swam to his friend, Bella the fish. "Bella, look what I found," he said. Bella looked at the key. "Wow, Timmy! Maybe it opens a treasure chest," she said excitedly. Timmy and Bella swam together to find the lock that matched the key. They met Gary the frog sitting on a lily pad. "Gary, do you know where this key goes?" asked Timmy. Gary thought for a moment. "I saw an old chest near the big rock," he said. "Maybe the key opens that chest." Timmy, Bella, and Gary swam to the big rock. There, they found an old, rusty chest. Timmy's heart raced with excitement. He carefully put the key into the lock and turned it. Click! The chest opened. Inside the chest, they found shiny coins, colorful gems, and a map. The map showed more treasures hidden around the pond. Timmy, Bella, and Gary were very happy. They decided to share the treasure with all their friends in the pond. From that day on, Timmy and his friends went on many more adventures, finding new treasures and exploring the pond. They learned that working together and sharing made every adventure more fun. And so, Timmy the Turtle and his friends lived happily, always curious and ready for the next adventure. The Adventure of Timmy the Turtle continued. Timmy the Turtle and his friends were excited about their next adventure. The map they found in the chest showed a hidden garden at the edge of the pond. The garden was full of beautiful flowers and delicious fruits. "Let's go find the hidden garden," said Timmy. Bella the fish and Gary the frog agreed. They followed the map, which led them past tall reeds and under a fallen tree. Along the way, they met Ruby the rabbit. Ruby was nibbling on some grass when she saw them. "Where are you all going?" she asked. "We're looking for the hidden garden," said Bella. "Do you want to come with us?" Ruby's eyes lit up. "Yes, I would love to," she said. Together, they continued their journey. The map showed a special mark near a big oak tree. When they reached the tree, they saw something shiny sticking out of the ground. It was another key. "This must be the key to the hidden garden," said Timmy. He picked up the key and looked around. "But where is the door?" Gary the frog jumped up and down. "Look, there's a small door in the tree trunk." Timmy carefully put the key into the lock of the small door. The door opened, and they found a narrow tunnel. One by one, they entered the tunnel and crawled through it. At the end of the tunnel, they emerged into the most beautiful garden they had ever seen. The garden was full of colorful flowers, big trees, and delicious fruits like berries, apples, and peaches. There were butterflies flying around and birds singing in the trees. Timmy, Bella, Gary, and Ruby were amazed. They spent the day exploring the garden. They tasted the sweet fruits and played hide-and-seek among the flowers. Ruby found a soft spot under a tree where they could rest and enjoy the beauty around them. As the sun began to set, Timmy and his friends knew it was time to go back to the pond. They decided to keep the garden a secret place for their special adventures. They promised to come back often and enjoy the hidden paradise. Timmy the turtle, Bella the fish, Gary the frog, and Ruby the rabbit returned to the pond, happy and content. They knew that with each new adventure, their friendship grew stronger, and their world became a little more magical. And so, Timmy and his friends continued to explore, discover, and share many more wonderful adventures in and around their pond. The Adventure of Timmy the Turtle continued. The next morning, Timmy the Turtle woke up with a new idea. He wanted to create a secret club where he and his friends could meet and plan their adventures. Timmy shared his idea with Bella the fish, Gary the frog, and Ruby the rabbit. They all loved it. "We need a special place for our club," said Timmy. Ruby the rabbit had a suggestion. "How about the old hollow log near the big oak tree? It's a perfect hiding spot." Everyone agreed, and they went to the hollow log. It was big enough for all of them to fit inside. They cleaned it up, making it cozy and comfortable. Bella brought some soft moss for them to sit on, and Gary found some pretty flowers to decorate the entrance. "We should have a name for our club," said Gary. "How about the Adventure Seekers?" suggested Bella. "That's perfect," said Timmy. They all agreed and decided that the hollow log would be their secret clubhouse. One day, while meeting in their clubhouse, they heard a strange noise coming from outside. It sounded like someone crying. They peeked out and saw a small, scared hedgehog. "Hello," said Timmy kindly. "Why are you crying?" The hedgehog sniffled and said, "I'm lost. I can't find my way back home." "Don't worry," said Ruby. "We will help you find your home." The adventure seekers set off to help the hedgehog. They asked around the pond if anyone knew where the hedgehog lived. Finally, they met an old wise owl named Oliver, who lived in a tree near the pond. "Hello, wise Oliver," said Timmy. "Can you help us find where this hedgehog lives?" Oliver looked at the hedgehog and said, "Ah, I know this little one. He lives in the meadow beyond the tall grass. I can show you the way." Timmy, Bella, Gary, Ruby, and the hedgehog followed Oliver through the tall grass. It was a long journey, but they enjoyed each other's company and the beautiful scenery along the way. When they reached the meadow, the hedgehog's face lit up with joy. "This is my home," he said happily. "Thank you, adventure seekers, and thank you, Oliver." The hedgehog's family came out to greet him. They were very grateful to Timmy and his friends for bringing him back safely. As a token of their appreciation, they gave the adventure seekers a basket of sweet berries from the meadow. The adventure seekers returned to their clubhouse, feeling proud and happy. They shared the berries and talked about their next adventure. They knew that no matter what challenge they faced, they could always rely on each other. From that day on, Timmy the turtle, Bella the fish, Gary the frog, Ruby the rabbit, and their new friend the hedgehog continued to have many exciting adventures. They explored new places, helped others, and made wonderful memories together. And so, the adventure seekers' friendship grew stronger with each adventure, and their hearts were always full of joy and curiosity.